following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
All right, we've already crowned one champion this week. Time to crown another one for iRacing. Tonight, the Truck Championship on the line as we come back to where it all started 8 races ago, Daytona International Speedway, for the final race of season, technically 1 of the Superspeedway style truck series season. I'm the captain. We welcome you in to this Thursday evening. Just want to start out by saying I made a whoopsies and put myself in the race tonight instead of watching. So that is why qualifying is going on right now, but I started a couple minutes later on the broadcast because you're not going to be able to see qualifying because I'm technically a part of the race, but I will not be racing, obviously. So they'll grid here in a minute, and when that happens, we'll see the trucks and go from there. So with that said, tonight, all about the points, and after a phenomenal and wild Tuesday night at Talladega, that saw Casey Carrington go to the championship stage to be crowned the champion. Stephen Miles, Ryan Whitaker, Randy Cornwell, Kyle Ethier, Craig Martin, all, and even Chris Lewis technically, could win the championship tonight. That's 6 drivers under an umbrella and a chance to win tonight. So, man, this thing's going to get wild tonight because I'm looking over at, not counting myself, 16 trucks that are in the race here this evening, ready to go, unless somebody else shows up here next couple minutes that could go up. So, I mean, Lewis is going to need a miracle, but those other 5, they have the chance to win this evening. So a lot of drama going to go on, and after Tuesday night going caution-free the first 50 laps or so of that race, of that 65-lap race, and then a caution actually, believe it or not, getting both of the guys racing for the title involved. Then the third guy sneaks into the picture after a penalty, that being Brandon Alphin, and things worked out to where Casey Carrington would win the championship by all of 3 points over Brandon Alphin. What can happen tonight? My suggestion, if you're watching on the stream tonight, you might want to go get your friends. You might want to go get family members because you're probably going to watch a wild 150 miles of racing here at Daytona in just a couple of minutes. You're probably going to see some single file racing as drivers are being patient. But with the one drop week in there, anything can happen when it's all said and done. And just like Tuesday night, I'll kind of go through who's got what weeks available and stuff and what could happen here. But I can say this, from what I'm peeking at right now, numbers-wise, it's going to take a severe bad finish by some of these drivers to even have the drop week come into play for them, unlike Tuesday night. So, obviously, anything can happen when it's all said and done. So, looking forward to what is going to happen here as qualifying is right now going to wrap up. So, let's step trackside and let's go to the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, thank you very much. As we go trackside now for this starting lineup, I can go ahead and put this out there now. It is down to 4 drivers with a chance to win a championship because Chris Lewis, unfortunately, with the 16 trucks that are going to start this race, he would have to be able to gain 16 points, and the max points you can gain in a race is 29. So there's just not enough points available there with everybody going to score here tonight for him to win a championship. So Lewis is out. We're down to 4 trucks now in the championship race. Teammates Stephen Miles, Christopher Dean will start in row number 1. Daniel Giroux, Ryan Whitaker, the winner at Michigan in the dark, will start row 2. Casey Carrington, the champion from Tuesday night in the Cup Series, making an appearance this evening alongside Dylan Rosenberg. Nick Leo, Stephen Melnick, there in row number 4. Row 5, Josh Dillon, Drayton Cook, Jake Vanoski, Craig Martin in row 6. Row 7, Robert Barton, fresh from down under, making his debut here tonight. Tim Averill, I am not in the race tonight, so don't worry about my name. Chris Lewis, Dalton Wilson, the 16 starters in the race here this evening. And Casey Carrington did not grid either. So now we're down to 15 trucks. 60 laps tonight, 150 miles. It is 82 degrees. The time is set to 8x. We actually started practice in the dark. And believe it or not, for the first time, I can say this in a race, there is a chance for rain. Could you believe that or not at Daytona? 24% humidity, partly cloudy skies. So, let's throw that element, by the way, into things, shall we? All my years of streaming now on here, off and on, is taken to 2024 for me to use those words, rain, in an actual forecast for the race. Right now, partly cloudy, though. And as they say in the state of Florida, where I grew up 105 miles from this racetrack, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. Here we go. Final race, race number 9 of the TI Truck Series season. On the Superspeedways, we crown a champion in 60 laps, but we're green right now. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You can, and there's Carrington joining the field. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. Miles going to get right up there with his teammate to start with, Dean. And at the bottom, there is old, a name I got to get used to, Santa Dale. Apparently, this is a nickname for Daniel Giroux. Leo there on that bottom side, along with the 88 U-Haul truck, that being Josh Dillon, who I believe just joined the truck side of things this week. As Giroux, oh boy, going to need a tinfoil hat there as Miles leads lap 1. You know, these trucks are a little more trickier than the Gen 4 cars you watched on Tuesday night. A lot more drag and a lot more steadier. And I say steadier as we watch these trucks dance around. Obviously, you can push them a lot more. And the outside line seems to be where you want to be in this truck, especially leading. Look at Leo stuck to that bumper. And I will keep an eye on the forecast in case rain pops up on the radar. I will say the chances were very slim. You just never know. And plus, I'm a broadcaster. I'm going to build drama. That's what I like to do. Everybody behaving so far, and Josh Dillon's going to jump out of line. Probably going to go to the back there with Robert Barton. Drew, that is definitely not good reception. I don't know what he's got going on there. But apparently the North Pole needs to work on an internet connection. Up top, Dylan Rosenberg puts himself on the wall there, getting pushed by Dalton. Now, of course, the bonus points that are available to these trucks, you can get a bonus point for leading a lap. You get a bonus point for leading the most laps. You get a bonus point for the old Red Bull lap, if you are the Ferrari lap, whatever you want to call it, F1 terms. For running the fastest lap of the race, you get that. Those laps potentially could help you win the championship when it's over with right now, as Lewis actually has the fastest lap. As Leo jumps to the top side, and I think they're going to leave the 92 here, as unfortunately he has blinked a little bit in this race, and obviously you can understand, don't want to net code into him or whatever that can create that alarm. So Leo going to go to the lead with help from Jake Vanowski on that bottom side. All right, so let's just do a check real quickly on things here. It is currently 2 o'clock in the afternoon, race time. Time set at 8x, so basically think of 60 seconds in a minute. You divide that by 8. And in real life time, that is how many seconds you're going to get in an actual race time. As Miles goes back to the front, that is something of the sorts of roughly 7 seconds in a minute. Something like that. So, track temp at 102, so we'll likely be back under the lights before the end of this race unless we stay green. And we'll probably be in twilight. Whose ever idea that was to do that? Oh, wait. Now, if there's any kind of advantage for Miles, there is a league on Saturday nights that a lot of us, including myself, have run multiple races in. That is a truck Superspeedway series. So Miles has a lot of experience running the trucks on the Superspeedway. So that's why I think you're going to see him hang up here in the front with Lewis and those guys. Because he's going to know where to put that truck to get it in the best spot for potentially it to win. And when you only have, 16 trucks that have started this race, you can kind of be a little more aggressive knowing that there's not many drivers in the field. All right, so I mentioned earlier one drop week in this series, in the trucks here. So as I look over at the races, and I say this by starting off with, remember the most points without bonus you can get in this series is 26. So use that number in your head, and 26 in every position is 1 point. All right, so that means basically down to 25th, you get a point, okay? With that said, the races that are dropped by the guys who are in the front right now in points, Miles scored 11 points at Atlanta a few weeks ago. So 11 points obviously would be the, 12th position, I think it is? Did I do the math in my head? So obviously Miles, as long as he doesn't finish worse than 12th, his drop week will stay the way it is. for Ryan Whitaker. He actually missed a race at Talladega, so nothing will top that race. So whatever scores tonight will be his final race that counts. Cornwell is 9 points, which Cornwell is not even here. So he will not win the championship tonight. Kyle Ethier, it's 11 also. And then Craig Martin is 16, believe it or not. So Martin's actually got a chance that a race could jump because he has had a very good season here in the trucks. So there you go. That's kind of where we stand with everything right now. So we now can say 2 drivers have eliminated themselves from the championship. Randy Cornwell and Chris Lewis now. Right on board with the Michigan winner, Ryan Whitaker here, the 51 truck. Should be able to easily do 15 laps on a tank of fuel. So it should be a 3-stopper. And I mean, tire-wise, you only need left sides really, and that's just more to grip the track and get off pit road. Miles kind of playing with both sides of the dog contact. Whitaker gonna hold on to her for now, and I think everybody saved it, I think. Dean's blinking out. I think we just lost Dean. So chaos all of a sudden on lap 10. And that simply started from just a checkup of Miles running both lanes, trying to obviously control the lead draft. And some contact happened from it. And good save on everybody's part. And unfortunately, Dean falls out at the same time, so we've lost Christopher Dean, so tough break there. Let's go back to that again. That was kind of hectic right there. So obviously Miles, wrong league, Devin. So Miles, gets the push here from Lewis. And he pulls down to the bottom there, and he's going to see Lewis has the run. He wants to get back up. There's the bump from Leo. It must happen the next lap here, so unfortunately. But either way, he ends up moving back up, and it causes a little bit of a checkup, and so on and so forth. Oh, we're going to do this. Stand by as I have to fix something. At least you'll get to see the replay now. All right, so right here you're going to see Leo, and then there's Miles up there to stop the top side from getting the momentum, and everybody has to check up, and there's the contact with Whitaker. So there you go. You got to see it anyways. All right, back at it. 13 laps in. So, long story short, when I leave my timing and scoring open overnight, there's some reason it will not go back from the replay to live on me. So I have to go, shut it down and open it back up real quick. And just a friendly reminder sometimes to myself. All right, so they're coming up on Carrington to put him a lap down after he started on pit road. Let's... He said he was going to run a TI Racing paint. Well, he's running a TI Racing paint. All right, how did he not change his number to 24? I mean, it would have made sense here, would it not? What's that on the back of his... Or who's behind him there? I think Dylan is. Get up closer, Dylan. Let's see what we got here. Here's TIP. Use the brakes, I think that says. Oh, that's fantastic. Mr. Carrington.
Yo.
Champion. Was there any consideration of changing your number to 24?
Nah. I didn't want to cause any confusion with, I knew it'd take Lewis forever and a day to get me the week invite, so I just wanted to run the number I was assigned.
Okay. I asked that because obviously we know the first hit of young TI was 24s.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I just wanted to check, so.
You're going to be a journalist and ask me why I lost the draft?
I know why you lost the draft. You forgot when the start of the race apparently was or something.
No, I had a mechanical
Did your
gremlin.
audio issue hit?
My power supply for my wheel came unplugged from the wall, so I had to restart, missed the grid.
Well, at least there wasn't the audio issue you were always worried about.
Yeah. Poor Craig, sounds like he's got wheel damage, so I think the dream's already dead.
From the contact with Whitaker?
Yeah.
Oh,
he
no.
got wheel damage.
Keep fighting. Plenty of things can happen. Here we got pit stops here.
Go ahead and put me down, because I think
Yeah.
they're about to pit. I don't want to run over anybody.
Yeah, go ahead. As we move Carrington down, and who is this there? We got a guy here spectating in chat here. I think that's coming to the wrong room all of a sudden here. Hello?
Hello.
What are you doing here? You're in the wrong room.
I am just hanging out, hoping Ryan Whitaker can get this championship.
All right. Well, here comes everybody to pit road. So, why did you not race?
Just a little busy and doing a couple things, so.
Oh, what do you work for a living? Come on.
Sometimes.
Well, hey, good to see you on the track this last couple weeks, and we'll hope to see you next season.
Okay, sounds good, man.
All right, buddy. As
See
Landon
ya.
Durhold, oh no, hanging out. As pit stops going on here, lap 16. Everybody looks like 2 tires of fuel. Looks like Barton had a rough stop there, 24 seconds. Lewis and Miles trying to team up here as they draft, trying to get up there towards the front. And Barton back on pit road, so maybe had a speeding penalty or something as the trucks get up to speed. There goes the tandem up to the front, so Miles and Lewis jump to leaders. It's Devin doing Devin things there, Mr. Thomas. Telder did nothing yet in this league. It's a joke for the GLSR league that some reason has made its way over here for no reason. It's the hashtag everybody uses, free Telder, for it's supposed to be for GLSR, but some reason they come over into other leagues and use it, and of course nobody understands what it means other than those involved. So 18 laps complete. And here comes Leo with help from Drew, and maybe he has his internet working correctly here. Yeah, looks like we got 5 trucks kind of lined up here. As here comes Melnick and Rosenberg. They're going to looks like attached on. And then you got the whole orange truck brigade back here. So 19 laps complete as you see Barton merging back on the track there. All these trucks had to go by. And when I literally mean the orange truck brigade, I mean, look at this. It's all orange trucks. I mean, obviously different shades of orange when you look at Martin's truck, but Everybody's running a free Dallas truck. Pretty much been running it since Dallas, unfortunately, got suspended for the season. And will he come back next season? Who knows? That'll be up to the admin, Mr. Lewis, the owner of the league. So Drew now up to the front. Santadale leading this race. Nick Leo there second. Steve Melnick third. Miles fourth. Lewis fifth. And right now it is Miles who is the leader of the pack when it comes to the championship racers. So he would be the champion of the series, obviously, if the race were to end right now. But we're just third distance in. But as you see, Miles moves up there with help from Vinoski to try to stop the momentum of the trucks of Drayton Cook and then Dalton Wilson there in the 5. And now Miles all of a sudden almost had to check up there because he had some momentum and almost had to go below the line. Oh, there goes Melnick into the wall. He got loose, getting pushed by the 07. And caution's going to come out. And only 2 trucks involved here. Very tricky to push into corners. And Stephen Melnick, unfortunately, and caution at lap 22. Obviously, Vinoski was trying to help Melnick here. It's just... yeah, right there. Actually, had a third truck. Dalton Wilson involved. Oh, and there's a fourth truck. So I had Tim Averill to the list. A little bit of damage there. He'll be fine. But yeah, it's just very hard in these corners. I mean, yeah, you could push this truck. But if you push the truck the wrong way, it is all she wrote. Casey Carrington's going to get back on the leading lap. See, Melnick was kind of wobbly there. Let's actually go to nose cam. Just making sure there. Oh, there's contact. Right there, contact, and then hooked him. Yeah, it's one of those. I know what Vinoski's trying to do. He's trying to help because there's only 2 or 3 trucks in that outside lane. The problem is you got to still kind of, I hate to use the words be smart about it, but in a way you have to. All right, leaders are all in to at least top off the fuel, so Giroux going to win the race off pit road here. Looks like Robert Barton's going to take the wave around, but Carrington back on the lead lap now. Looks like Martin took his time to get some damage fixed. Whitaker maybe the same. Leo maybe the same. I'm actually going to step away for a quick second. I'm just going to keep the stream running here real quick and grab a bottle of water because for some reason I'm thirsty now. All right. So, going to come to one to go. Want to remind you the Scalicast podcast, of course, on Podbean, also on Spotify and iHeartMedia. 12 episodes deep. 13th episode is going to be posted after the race. I'm pretty much done with it. Just got to get it through the steps to get it up there and uploaded. Feature an interview with Sean Peachin as we talk about GLSR season. Of course, they wrapped up their second race last night at Phoenix. And what they got coming up, and talking about the history of that league and more. So make sure you are ready for episode 13. Should be out probably about 30 minutes after the race ends here, after the broadcast. So we'll get it up there and out. But 12 episodes out right now, and you can listen to them all. And obviously continuing to build that platform now, and obviously we appreciate everybody's feedback. I've had a lot of people come to me and to Telder and to Miles with some advice, and trust me, it's not being ignored. It's definitely being looked at, and of course I'm trying to find ways to make it better myself, the podcast. And if you listen closely in the first 12 episodes, you notice there's changes left and right, and that's because we're trying to find the right pattern and right rhythm to make this thing the best thing possible. So hopefully you've enjoyed them so far. We appreciate everybody who's watched or listened, I should say, because you can't really watch a podcast unless it's actually on TV or something. But needless to say, we're looking forward to continuing on throughout the season with that. And for those who did not or are not a part of any of the Discords, I will share with you something that, of course, in 2 weeks, April the 8th, yes, that is my birthday, as I kind of am using that as a cover-up to what really is going on that day, but it's the day of the solar eclipse, of course. And now I am in Indiana, and I'm one of the honored people that get to actually stream in an area that has the solar eclipse totality coming through. So here on YouTube that day, we will stream the eclipse happening live, and let you be a part of it on the YouTube page. For those who obviously will not be in the area or whatever, want to let you have the opportunity to watch it. And I'll have my phone streaming from there and be able to check it out that way. So looking forward to put that out there, of course, once we know the time of when they expect the totality to happen, which I think is going to be around 3 p.m. or so, I think, Eastern time. I will put the stream out and let you guys know, and you'll be able to share it with everyone, family, friends, and let them come enjoy something that we will not see for another 20 years. And likely maybe not in this area for a very long time, because I know the last one was roughly 2017 or 16 or something like that. And that was down south. And I was in New York at that time, so I was nowhere near it. So looking forward to putting that one on the air. So should be fun. No, JT, we just actually relocated back to Indiana. So I'm back up here now. So some could say back home again, no pun intended. But in all, it's one of the best places I've had a chance to live. So I'm very happy being up here now. As we're back to racing lap 25, you see Miles has gotten pushed to the lead from Lewis, Nick Leo, Dylan Rosenberg, the 91 car. Truck, I should say, Craig Martin. Still got 13 trucks on the lead lap here, as we're about to hit halfway already. As Dalton Wilson gets pushed out front. As the one thing I can share and tell you is watching Tuesday night's race and then watching this tonight, I know there's been obviously a couple issues, but you can see how the Superspeedway series here has almost helped improve the racecraft of these guys on Superspeedways. I mean, I remember TI races of the past that almost would become wreckfest. And I don't mean that like they would wreck every 2 laps. I mean, they would have like 2 cars coming to the line to finish the race and that kind of thing. And I mean, we were caution free all the way to lap like 50 to 55, somewhere in that range Tuesday night. and had great battles and great racing all night long. And here we are again. Looks like Lewis is going to abort ship and go to the back. I know Lewis and I have talked a little bit as I just got asked him some questions and learning a little bit, and found out that actually it will be in 3 weeks, as here comes Craig Martin. Potentially the underdog, if you will, for the championship right there in the 55 as they're squeezing. But looks like it'll be the week of the 8th. Will be the first week of TI Racing coming back. Of course, Lewis will have the schedule and everything. I know this season I did all the scheduling and a lot of the work or whatever when it comes to the scheduling, putting the points together and stuff like that with Lewis's help and things. But obviously earlier in the season, I kind of handed it back to Lewis and said, all right, here you go. And wanted to focus more back on the stream, as he does a phenomenal job keeping this thing floating and going. But as he knows, I'm always right here beside him if he needs me. So Stephen Miles is in a creamsicle sandwich as Dalton drifts up, and Miles, here they go, wrecking. Miles has turned, along with others. Drayton Cook, Tim Averill. And that all started, looked like, when Dalton come off the bottom a little bit. I don't see much damage on the 7. A little bit left rear. Yeah, right there, you just see, I'm not sure if Dalton got pushed up or whatever, but Craig Martin gets through. I think Whitaker gets through. Let's get a crash cam of this and see. Wrong cam, here we go. Leo. I mean, barely if he's pushing it. Just Miles, and then obviously Abel gets out of shape. Or, I'm sorry, Drayton. Let's get that same... And matter of fact, Miles got sandwiched by both Averill and by Drayton Cook. Obviously, he's able to straighten that truck up and get back going. But yeah, you look closely, you'll see. I'm going to go nose here because I want to see if there was contact between Leo and Dalton. It looks so close up there. Yeah, there was contact. And that contact sent Dalton up the track a little bit, and it squeezed Miles and Drayton topside and just got them both out of shape. So what that's going to do, as we break that down, is everybody who got contact in that will lose their bonus point for the 0x unless they only got a 0x. Nice job by Martin to just avoid that. Interesting. All right. Well, tough break for all involved. Wait a minute. There we go. I saw that just now in the corner of my eye. Dale in a Santa hat. Yeah, that's something we've never seen before. All right, so Giroux has stayed out, which, I mean, tires don't make a difference here. It's more the fuel mileage. Giroux stays out. Leo and others came to pit road under this caution, which is going to allow them to do one stop to the finish. Giroux, I'm a little worried about not pitting there, as he will not be able to make it on one stop, as he'll have to pit actually in about 5 laps. Whitaker just came back down pit road, topped off the fuel cell. So did Miles. And again, Miles is right there around that number. Position-wise, I was talking about that is pretty much where his limit would be for the drop week to come into play. So, you could technically say if the race were ended right now that it would be Craig Martin going to the championship stage, but that's why we still have 27 laps to go. Now, the one person Miles is probably missing the most tonight is Brandon Alphin, who usually is his right-hand man when helping him in the draft, but knowing Chris Lewis, he'll probably go and help Miles out if needed to keep him in this race, if he does have sufficient damage, but we shall see what happens here. Again, going green, 27 laps to go. As the pace truck pulls in, Daniel Giroux, Nick Leo, Craig Martin, Dylan Rosenberg, Casey Carrington, your top 5. As Martin, with help from Carrington, going to push for the lead. Leo's going to put it back 3 wide, top side. As a couple trucks got loose down there in the bottom going into turn 3 there. Looked like maybe a little contact or something. All right, so it looks like everybody's been able to hold on to the draft. So looks like the damage very minimal on a lot of these trucks. So Martin leading his first lap, so he's going to get a bonus point there for leading a lap. Second of the bunch of 3 that are racing now for this championship to get a bonus point for leading a lap. So obviously doing everything he can to try to maximize those points in this race. As you see, the sun's still out. Good news there, which means this rain that is a chance, by the way, in this race is staying away. Let's check the weather update right now as we're just past 6:15. Track temps dropped 12 degrees. Still partly cloudy, which is good. And one number I do want to bring up is this right here in the middle now. This becomes a factor, by the way. Now with rain in rain and iRacing, this humidity right here, the one with the raindrop. 81 right now, or I'm sorry, 24% is humidity. So the good news to that number right there is that means that the dew point is very low, which means there's not a lot of moisture in the air, which means chance of rain's very low. Ask me how I know that. Well, one thing that is coming is darkness. And we have lights here, thankfully, unlike Michigan. All right, Martin leads, and we're going to give you a chance to turn up the audio one last time here in the TI season. This season number 1, technically, of the trucks on Superspeedways. Either way, as we wrap up a 10th season of TI racing, let's turn it up and enjoy the sounds of the trucks. All right, 21 laps to go, and remember I mentioned the 92 staying out on the track, and I was wondering about that move. Here he is, out of time, and onto pit road now for fuel. Probably a move he's going to regret staying out there. He led some laps, but he's got nobody to pit with now, and hope he's going to be able to join the track. Is contact between Leo and Rosenberg. These trucks juking and jiving, trying to figure out what they're doing here. As Carrington, the TI paint scheme, literally. Getting pushed by Leo there. The 51, Ryan Whitaker, another championship driver. Now, one of the cool features, by the way, for those who have not seen this, if you're not on iRacing, you're not going to get a chance to see this. But for drivers, you might have seen this by now. But I'm actually going to pull up the UI here for a second. And over here, as I zoom it in here, check this out. There's your weather. And you can actually, well, if it loads up here correctly, I don't even know if it's going to load. But there's a radar, actually, you can look at here and pop out onto the screen. And you see here in the weather forecast, I told you earlier, there was 0% chance of rain, and you see it's still the same. Now there's the radar pop out. I don't think that works when, so when I take the UI off, so it doesn't really matter. So, anyways, pretty cool feature there that they've added to the sim and so out. But anyhow, I'll be able to, especially for those running the 12 hours of Sebring this weekend. I've been told that a lot of practices that some people that are going to be helping out, like Telder and them this weekend. I'm just going to be more crew chiefing and stuff, but there's apparently been a lot of practice sessions with rain. So, sounds like that, as I kind of thought would probably happen earlier this year, that Sebring would be where we'd get the rain in an endurance race, and here we go. So, we shall see. 17 laps to go. I always make it rain, JT. Straight cash, homie. Jake Vanoski's moved back up to the second position after his contact earlier with Melnick. Dylan Rosenberg there inside lane. Ryan Whitaker up there top side, the other driver in the running for the championship. Of course, it's him and Craig Martin and Stephen Miles, who's right there in the 7 truck right behind Lewis. You see the sun starting to set. Going to start to get dark here in the latter stages of this race. The sun's out of the eyes. And obviously, the track's going to get some more grip. Now, obviously, for those wondering, when I do, I know they're working on Miles and Jim Herrick and the 4D Racewear team. Those guys are out there running laps right now and that kind of thing. I know they're trying to run the 8 a.m. race on Saturday, and if that happens, then obviously I will not be able to stream until later that day. So obviously, if that happens, as soon as I can get home, I'll put the stream up and get it. I'll have it set up beforehand, and then just launch it as soon as I get home. And be there to help them out. Otherwise, if they run the noon session, then I will likely miss a very minimal amount of time and be able to be there the rest of the night to help them run that race. So, and this year we've talked, and we feel like now with the rain being in the sim, it makes being a crew chief or a spotter like even more important now, because you'll be able to look at the radar and say, hey, the rain's here or whatever, because you've won. There's so many different strategies to watch. Because one thing you don't want to do is run out of laps and gas and come to pit road, and then 2 laps later you're back on pit road to switch tires because you didn't save enough gas. So I think there's so many different factors that are going to come into play, and it's going to make the endurance racing even fun to watch. I mean, I can't wait. I might have to run the 24 at Daytona next season again just to have fun in the rain. As here comes a few of the PTP trucks to pit road. Averill, Wilson, Cook. As start a final round of pit stops here with 14 laps to go. I like their strategy here. I've always been a fan of pitting the earliest when you're in the window, because if you can get paired up and pushing, you'll likely get back to the front. Left sides, I see some right sides going on. Either way, 2 tires and fuel. As those guys pull away. And again, they need to get pretty organized here quickly. And here comes a majority of the rest. Should be mostly maybe 2 tires and fuel, if not fuel only. Good stops for everyone. And look, you see Giroux came back to pit road with the crew here. because he knew he wasn't going to make it the rest of the way. So smart move on his part to make up for the whoopsies there when he did not come to pit road under that caution. As here comes Leo, Vanoski, Rosenberg, and Whitaker now, the final set of guys to make that one last pit stop. And from here, it is race to the finish of this finale TI Truck Series season. Now, for those curious, what is going to happen on Tuesday and Thursday nights during these couple weeks off? I've already made the decision that we will do some AI racing just to fill this gap, as I do want to get caught up on the rest of the season I've had going on. It's taken me forever and a day to do the season, but it's been a lot of fun to do. And, oh, Whitaker, don't go over that yellow line. Because eventually I'm bringing the Gen 4s out and then bringing F1 cars out for next season. So, but that's for next season. All right, so the pack all going by. We'll have to keep an eye on the 51 of Whitaker to make sure he did not get a penalty there for going over that yellow line. He was really close. But here's your top five now as they come off pit road. Craig Martin now leading this race, looking to get the bonus point for leading the most laps, as the Orange Truck Brigade back here. Rosenberg went up there to try to run with them, but they decided nope, and they're going to team up here. I'm going to say these guys are going to need to get single file really quickly. They did so good job on their parts to organize themselves here. They just got to get obviously closer to, who's that pulling off pair? Oh, Dalton Wilson. An issue for the 5 truck. A tough break there for Dalton, who was having a good run. Vanoski looks like going to lose the draft as Miles. Oh, there's blinking Giroux there, so that's never good. And I think this might be a move to slow up the momentum of the trucks coming behind him there, and that's exactly what just happened. Miles, Carrington, and Lewis going to team up on, which surprises me a little bit. Carrington is kind of a teammate to Craig Martin. And here comes 51 into the picture, so now all 3 of the drivers racing for the championship are in the top 10 here. And Carrington just got shuffled out. Look at the trucks just move around. Lewis trying to sweep the week on super speedways. Won Tuesday at Talladega, looking to win at Daytona, and we are getting racy now. 8 laps to go. Carrington's got his own groove going on up there. Leo with the push from Lewis goes to the front. Obviously right now, if the race ends, it's Miles who's the champion. And as long as he can stay up in this front part right here, he'll be fine. If he falls back there where like Rosenberg and Carrington are, then it becomes a concern. You don't really have too many teammates up here. You got Lewis and Miles. You got Whitaker with Drayton. And then I guess you do got April back there now too. So there's three of them. You got Miles and Lewis. You got Martin and Carrington and Dylan. Not sure where Giroux aligns his partnership. I'm maybe with, let me see what Discord he's in. That will help me with that one. He's down there with Carrington and them. So maybe that would be your strongest team probably in this picture right now. 6 laps to go as Whitaker trying to get momentum to the top side here. How tense are these guys now? Knowing that a championship is on the line. The one thing that the outside line is doing every time they make a move like that, they're killing the middle lane. Oh, Lewis is going to get shuffled into the wall. There's more contact. And wrecking they go. Miles again involved. And Whitaker with damage too. Lewis gets crossed up a little bit there, and then just everybody hitting each other here, and then finally the 4 of Carrington gets turned. And now the question, how much damage do these trucks have? I mean, Lewis is already towed. Whitaker actually got through there pretty unscathed. Now, part of this here, I'm going to say Lewis should have. This is one of those, I've seen this so many times, where a driver kind of wants to move up but doesn't. And Lewis probably should have moved up. And he was wanting to, it looked like. And maybe he felt like he was. But obviously Whitaker saw a gap and went for it. So right here, Lewis comes up the track, but he's not much up there. I mean, he's still got plenty of room to come up. And Whitaker's there and gets him in the right rear. And of course, he goes to tank slapping. Abril goes down to try to avoid everything, Drayton Cook. And those guys are going to hate each other. And then now everybody's just trying to save their trucks. And then right here, Miles gets into Carrington, and this is where the chaos starts. And then Abril comes up the track into, and so does Drayton. They kind of pile drive Miles into the wall there as they're trying to control their trucks. So 2 of the championship drivers in this one now. Wow, I just noticed something. You got to be kidding me. Am I seeing what did I just see what I think I'm seeing here? I'll point it out here in a second. I just want to make sure of something real quick. So we all just witnessed. Look. Oh my God, I'm supposed to be like impartial up here in the booth. I mean, how many viewers I have watching right now? We just watched a truck without contact just hang a right and pile drive into the wreck. I'm just going to call it straight up. Wow. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that. All right, going to be coming to the green here. Is this overtime or? This will be overtime. Well, no, actually, I think it's going to be a legit restart here. 2 laps to go, lap 59. Yeah, here we go. Green flag. Miles is still in the pits. Dylan Rosenberg pushing Craig Martin. Wow, and Leo giving a big shove to the 55. As we hit the final lap here from Daytona. Dylan getting loose as Leo going to get pushed out to the front by Vanoski. Martin back to the middle. Contact with Vanoski to the outside lane they go. Rosenberg trying to make moves everywhere. People scrambling up the middle comes Martin. As Leo's going to win and Whitaker gets turned. And depending on what damage Martin got, if he had any incident points, this might be Craig Martin's championship. Which, to be quite frankly honest, good. as Leo goes to victory lane. Congratulations to him. And I'm going to go upload these points. I'm a little stunned by that, to be honest with you. I mean, to see what I saw there in that last wreck, it was, I mean, trust me, one of the hardest things to do in racing is to see if a wreck is on purpose or whatnot. But when you see a guy just literally hang a right without contact and pile drive into somebody, kind of not hard to see. But either way, let's go get these uploaded real quick and we'll get the points. We'll talk to Leo here in a second. Oh, let me make one move here real quick. All right, so I've updated the point standings here, and Ryan Whitaker is the champion of the series by 2 over Craig Martin. Stephen Miles, unfortunately, finishes 3rd, but I just actually talked to Lewis real quickly, and I'm going to just speak with the winner of the race, basically, when this thing's all said and done, because quite frankly, nobody on that team deserves an interview. So, is Leo even here? Leo's not even here. Well, anyways, congratulations, Nick, wherever you are. Unless that's Nick right here. No, because Leo's got his own name. Anyways, I guess Leo's not in chat, so I don't know what's going on here. So I was going to talk to Leo, at least give him credit for the win. Yeah, that's I'm just going to leave it at that. That's all I'm going to say. And is in voice, what's his name? Because, I mean, I don't see him. Or is it Sir Leo? Oh, I got you. Okay, this must be him then. Let's get Leo up here. I always see the S. That's why I don't know if it's him or not. Nick's this you?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm always seeing the S. That's why I didn't know it was you. Anyways, man, congratulations on the win.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Nice to talk to you again. It's been a while.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And yeah, you raced pretty hard there, and obviously battled with these guys, and you know, it was definitely a fight to the end.
Yeah, that last lap, I don't think I took my eyes off the rearview mirror, but I was hoping for the rain. You know, I heard there might be rain, so a little disappointed.
Yeah, right. No kidding. Yeah, great job, obviously, and you know, a tough season with everything, and
Yeah, I missed one of the races. I got the times mixed up, so I knew I had no shot at the. I think I've been wrecked every race too, but it's nice to win one. It's a good way to end it.
absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and send some shouts whoever you like to.
Yeah, the shout out to everybody, Chris Lewis, yourself for putting this on, and Spanky Jr. if he was in the chat tonight. I know he's been watching, and Jewel, like always.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations and great job tonight.
Yep, thank you.
All right, buddy. Nick Leo, the winner here tonight. And, yeah, obviously he did a great job and led laps and got to the end when it's all over with. And a big shout out to him when it's all over with. So, yeah, well done. So we'll take a look at the final results here. As Leo goes to victory lane. Craig Martin second. Rosenberg finishes third. Daniel Giroux fourth. Josh Dillon fifth. Whitaker sixth. Barton in his debut finishes seventh. Vinoski eighth. April ninth. Drayton Cook 10th. Dalton Wilson 11th. Stephen Miles 12th. Chris Lewis 13th. Casey Carrington 14th. And Stephen Melnick finishing in the 15th position. And Christopher Dean, the other driver, obviously the 16th place finisher when it's all said and done. So, yeah, nothing else more to say. And we're going to move on. And we'll go from there. So, tomorrow night, the All-American Series will be at the Twin Ring Motegi Series, Twin Ring Motegi Racetrack. And we'll look forward to putting that on, of course, presented by Harpoon Design at Twin Ring Motegi. So looking forward to that broadcast and seeing some good racing and people not doing stupid stuff on the track, I guess. So anyways, we'll head out. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday nights. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. At least people should remember that. See ya.